FightJournal.com here. Just got back from Thurman versus Porter, and I'm gonna jump right to it. Now, a lot of what I am going to speak about is hearsay. I watched the fight live and didn't see it on TV, so I didn't hear anything from the commentators or Steve Farhood or CBS commentators or anyone, so I can only go on what I'm reading with the fans. Scoring the fight live, I had the fight for Showtime Shawn Porter, and this is, I guess, this generation's maybe Hagler Leonard, so to speak. I thought this was a Shawn Porter type of fight. I thought his jab was very effective in the fight. I thought that there were many rounds where it was almost like a Paulie Malignaggi and Adrian Broner fight, where, or even a Bradley Pacquiao the first fight, one, where a guy kind of controlled the action in some of the rounds for 2 minutes, and then the harder puncher might have landed one or two big shots, and you give the round to the harder puncher. Listen, that's not how you score fights. You score fights on 3-minute rounds. Sometimes you look at numbers from CompuBox, PunchStat, and I get it. It says one guy landed more power punches, the more clean punches, the effective punches, what have you. That's fine, but when you do it in the aforementioned way that I talked about, you have to score it by round. Now, keep in mind, this is all subjective. I mean, CompuBox, PunchStat, numbers lie. Numbers lie all the time. If you look at a football team that has 400 yards in total offense and 3 touchdowns, and then you look at another team that has 158 yards in total offense and 2 touchdowns, and you just look at those stats, you're like, wow, how did the other team lose? Well, there's hidden yardage that doesn't count for the offense. Let's say that other team had 2 punt returns. You know, you put Devin Hester back there, and that team with the 158 total yards has Devin Hester run back 2 punts for a touchdown. You understand? It doesn't show up in the stats as far as total offense. And then let's say they get another punt return for a touchdown, and you realize, or they get an interception and score a defensive touchdown. You understand? So I thought Keith Thurman got backed up against the ropes. He talked about his defense, and all you have to do is look at his face to see how good his defense was. It was a Porter type of fight. So when you look at CompuBox, understand that there's a score for hits, there's a score for misses, there's a score for total punches land, and then you got your power punches and your overall punches. Well, guess how those scores come about? They come about by way of human beings. You ever heard of human error? The judges are human beings. The fans are human beings. So if you want to give credibility to, well, you know, CBS had it one way, from what I hear from quite a few fans on both sides that I polled, is that yes, the commentary kind of favored, it was a little bit biased for Thurman. I mean, the commentary And I get it. I mean, from an economic standpoint, Keith Thurman is going to bring you a lot more money. That's just how it is. For a lot of reasons. He has that one-punch power, or I won't even say one-punch power because it hasn't been there as he stepped up. I mean, the brother's light-skinned. That doesn't hurt. He's very articulate. Shawn Porter is more of a blue-collar, and his fighting style gets ugly at times. So, I mean, I get the Keith Thurman potential matchup thing. So if you're going to give the fight to somebody, I understand. But don't talk about CBS and ESPN scoring. Once again, we're talking about human beings who see it the way they see it, sometimes with an agenda. Remember, this is the same ESPN scoring that had Mike Dallas Jr. and Dusty Hernandez Harrison scored a draw. And we know that wasn't the case. Porter forced the issue. He was busier. Of course he landed less because he threw a lot more. I mean, your percentage isn't going to be high or higher when you throw more in a fight like this. You want to look at the numbers where the so-called experts or the judges or whoever tell you that Thurman won. They'll say that Porter lost the fight. Thurman was 43.6% on his punches. Thurman was 43.6%. Porter was 35.6%. That's overall punches. Thurman threw less. He threw 539. Porter threw 662. Yet, Porter landed more, 236 to 235. Just at a lower percentage. The jabs, I mean, Porter dominated. He was 59 of 202 jabs for 29%. Thurman was 32 of 134 for 23%. The power punching. You got Thurman 203 of 405, 50%. You got Porter 177 of 460, 39%. Another thing is that look at the body punching. This is where that Hagler-Leonard thing went kind of south. This is where a lot of other fights go south. The body punching. Now, I'm not disappointed with. I'm not totally disappointed with the scorecard. I could have saw it a draw. It was a difficult fight for some people to score. But the eye test, it's not all about numbers. As I said, those who do the scoring are human beings like you, like me. That's it. That's pretty much it. For those of you who think that Floyd Mayweather is undefeated, I challenge you to go back and look at the Jose Luis Castillo fight, the first fight. And where I want you to go, you don't even have to watch the fight. I want you to look at CompuBox and see how CompuBox was dominated by Jose Luis Castillo. So for all of you Mayweather fans who think he's undefeated, and right, I mean, hey, I don't have a problem with that. If that's your hero, that's your guy, stay behind your guy, but don't use the CompuBox argument or the punch stat or whatever CBS was using. Don't use that on one fight and then not the other. As I stated, those are human beings. So I'm saying the same thing with the Floyd and Castillo thing. Could it be human error? Someone going to take the time to go back and put the fight up on slow motion and count the punches? I don't think they are. All I know is out of 12,718 fans at the Barclays Center, I would say maybe 8,000 or 9,000 Thurman as well as Porter fans booed. So that should tell you something. Jim Gray went there, from what I hear, and from what I heard, so. And rightfully so. Jim Gray is real. He's going to pull it out. If you don't like him, tough. And the boos should tell you something. Watching a fight live is a lot different than watching it on television. Not to say that everybody who watched it on television had Thurman, because people are calling it a draw. Some are calling it for Porter. A few are calling it for Thurman. Hey, that's boxing. That's boxing. I thought that Porter was very effective. At times he fought Keith Thurman's fight, and Thurman, there were instances where he scored, and he won some rounds based on not just a few punches, but just winning the round. It was his kind of round. But I saw more Porter rounds. You got to score the body puncher, folks. You got to score the aggressiveness, the effective aggressiveness. You got to ask yourself, who would I rather be after this fight was over? Just look at the faces of the guys. You tell me. Yes, Porter went to the hospital afterwards, but that was to get an IV. That was dehydration. Might have been a little, in my opinion, I thought they kind of overdid it with the training, but he was out so long that both fighters, that you didn't have a choice. I don't think that either guy, back in the day, these guys fight again in their next fight. I don't think that's going to happen. I look at maybe a softer, I won't say soft, but a softer touch for both guys. Thurman was a bit ambiguous with his responses, or I should say inconsistent. 1 minute I'm hearing Danny Garcia, the next minute I'm hearing David, the cat that just beat Shawn Mosley, and then I'm hearing, sure, I'll do a rematch. So it's I think the most likely route that they're going to go is, I don't think the immediate rematch will happen. I kind of wish Shane Mosley would have won that fight. Some people believe that Mosley did win the fight, but more than likely, that's I believe that's a mandatory. So look for Shane Mosley and David Avanesian to get it on. But then I'd like to see him jump right back. If Thurman wins, if Porter wins, I'd like to see them jump back into the rematch. I have a suspicion that it may go Thurman and it's mandatory, Avanesian, and then maybe Thurman, Danny Garcia. I think Danny Garcia will get another soft touch, maybe a Andre Berto or something. I will watch the fight again on television with the sound up. Then I'll watch it again, maybe with the sound down. Not to change my score, not to try to convince anyone else to change their score. That's not going to happen. I had a nice, robust debate with my man Travis Gotti. That's my dude, and he had Thurman, and Travis is a crazy dude. Y'all subscribe to his page, Travis Gotti, and as crazy as as funny as crazy as Travis is, he'll always have a point in there, even if it's a hidden point. He'll always make a point to make you think, okay, all right, I see where you're coming from, bro. So I respect him for that. Wholeheartedly disagree with him on the fight, but that's my dude, and I like the way he thinks sometimes. Other than that, it was a good fight. I'm not going to, it was a great fight. From what I hear now, I didn't see it on TV. The commentators were kind of pro Thurman. Every close round was given to Thurman by Mr. Farhood, Steve Farhood. And for every big shot that Thurman landed, I guess, at least from what some fans are saying, that they were reacting like it was some type of murderous bomb. Yet, I didn't see any one time. I didn't see Thurman go down. And there was a one punch where he staggered, and there was a big overreaction. I did see a clip of that by... There was a big overreaction, but then when you watch the replay, you see that the shot wasn't what you thought, and Porter was more so off balance. But the problem with that, judges don't score on replay. Now it's the obligation of the commentators to point out, and I don't know if they did, that punch wasn't as effective as we thought. The judges see it live, they hear the oohs, and then it's like, and they score it right there. They don't score it on replay. They don't score it on CompuBox. They have to turn their cards in at the end of each round, so they don't have that benefit. Nevertheless, I had Porter winning. Half the world had Porter winning. Parts of the world had Thurman winning, and the other part of the world had a draw. I can, but I can't. You know what I mean? I can argue my point, but overall, I can't lose sleep arguing like I've lost sleep in years off my life arguing Hagler versus Leonard, which we all know that Hagler won. So from here, we'll see what happens. People still know that the advisor / promoter / whatever he is, Al.Haymon, kind of has the final say, but those sanctioning bodies or the belt folks have their say too, and it may be Keith versus David next, or should I say Goliath versus David maybe. We'll see, because Keith's sitting on top of the world right now. It was a good fight, very good fight. I'm not, this is the greatest fight I ever saw. No. It's the fight of the year. I mean, how quickly have we forgotten Vargas Salido? Let's come on, guys. It doesn't matter if you don't like a particular promoter who did a card, if you're pro PBC or you're not. Vargas Salido was a better fight than Thurman Porter. However, congratulations to both guys. Thurman got $1.4 million, I believe, and Porter got $1 million. So they're both winners in that respect. And hopefully it's not a thing where Thurman takes 2 fights and then Porter takes 2 fights or 3 or what have you, and then it's like it's just not the same. And hopefully it's not a situation where they don't fight again, which could happen if Thurman goes the route where he fights his mandatory and then he goes after Danny Garcia's belt. Porter may have to do something to position himself for a rematch. He shouldn't have. I mean, they both did what they should have done yesterday to warrant a rematch. But you never know. This is boxing, folks. Till then, give us your thoughts. Please subscribe to The Fight Journal. Please follow us on Twitter at The Fight Journal. And please go to our website. All our videos, all our articles at thefightjournal.com. If you select at the top, follow our blog via email. Every time we do a video or audio or a story, it'll come to your email. You won't have to go looking for it. Just check your email and it'll be there. Until then, I mean, let's get ready for the next one. Also, congratulations to Anthony Joshua. He's tough. The kid is good. We probably do a post-fight on that one also. Dominic Brazil lasted longer than the odds makers. I think it was a plus 280 you would have won if you would have had him going, I think it was past 3 or 4. So we'll see what the future holds. But very good fight from the Barclays. There was some empty seats. It was 12,000. That's not a sellout. 12,000. Almost 12,200. Not a complete sellout. Not close to a sellout. However, this fight was more about the CBS ratings than the live attendees. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We'll see. Those numbers don't lie. So we'll see what those numbers, at least most of the time they don't. We'll see what they look like. And we'll also see what the future holds for the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, and Showtime. I think the landscape's going to change a little bit, and it's already changing with Showtime and HBO. So, excuse my voice, I lost it a little bit. We just talking with my colleagues on with the press. The press scoring it live in my area of the press, the different areas in the press, maybe 60-40 for Porter. Some had it a draw. No one would have been upset with the draw, to be honest. I don't think anyone was upset. There were people upset going either way, but I don't think anyone was upset with the action, including the fans. While they booed the decision, the action, once they get over who they thought won or what have you, I think when you ask them the question about the overall action of the fight, I mean, they're going to give it an A+. So hopefully we'll get decent matchups like this again. And if they warrant rematches, we get the rematches. I think both guys deserve an interim fight, as well as a nice break. And hopefully we'll see them back maybe, I don't know, 5-6 months from now with their next opponent. When you talk about power punches, let me go make one last point, or two last points. When you talk about power punches, and I say when Porter got Thurman against the ropes, and you have to count the body shots, which are power punches, also count the headshots that he landed against Thurman against the ropes. They just weren't body shots. They were head shots, and there were a lot of them. And maybe up close, because he doesn't get full extension on his arms, the punches don't look like they're power shots. And listen, I'm sure CompuBox missed quite a bit, or Punch That, or whoever they used. I didn't watch live. I believe it's CompuBox. But before the fight, a popular thing to say about Shawn Porter was that he smothers his punches. He smothers his punches. So that when he got in close, and I'm sure the announcers said, oh, he's smothering his punches. He's smothering his punches. But guess what? A lot of those punches landed. Whether he smothers himself or not, once again, that's his game. Shawn Porter isn't a brawler. He's a mauler. When I think of a brawler, I think of a guy with his eyes shut after every fight, like Arturo Gatti or something, where he's just swollen up after every... No, he's a mauler. He mauls you. He gets inside. He's inside with a half-inch longer reach. Of course he's going to smother some of his punches, but a lot of them got through, and I don't think he was credited for that in rounds, because you have this premonition, you have this pre-thought, and it sits inside your head. Oh, there it is. He's smothering his... No, you can't do that. But I think we did that yesterday. Shawn Porter winner on my card. We'll talk to you on the next one.